Hi friends, good morning. This is Economics, Unit 2, Employment in India and Tamil Nadu. What is employment? An occupation by which a person earns a living of a work or from the business. That is in Tamil we call Velai Vaippu, employment. Employment in India and Tamil Nadu. Learning objectives. To know the employment structure in India, to understand the organized and unorganized sector, understand the distinction, that is difference between the public sector and private sector, to understand the changing employment pattern, to appreciate the case study format. First thing, introduction. You know, the basic needs of every human being are food, clothes, and shelter. In the present world, one more essential need has to be added in this list, that is employment. Velaivaippu. To survive in the world, we all need employment to earn money. Those who are engaged in economic activities, in whatever capacity, high or low, they are called as employees, that is the worker. People who employ these workers and pay rewards for their work are called as employers. That is owner. What is the difference between the worker and the owner? Worker means employees. Owner means employers. Labor force of the economy is the number of people in the country who work and also capable of working. We take the age group of 15 to 60 years for the computation of workforce. Persons who are less than 15 years are considered as children, and persons who have crossed the 60 years of age are excluded. That means they are not added, as they are not physically fit to undertake any productive occupation. If larger percentage of population is accounted by children and old age persons, then the progress of the country would be very slow, as the working force is very small. Besides the small working force, we'll have to maintain the larger non-working force for feeding out of the small national product. Look at this. This is a structure. Employment structure in India. The nature of employment in India is multidimensional. Some get employment throughout the year. Some others get employed for only a few months in a year. Everybody is not getting full year work. The economy is classified into three sectors. What are the three sectors? Primary sectors, or otherwise called as agriculture sector, secondary or otherwise industrial sector, and tertiary or otherwise called as a service sector. This is a structure. Primary, based on the agriculture, forestry, mining, fishery. Secondary sector, production of goods and industries, and the tertiary sectors for your services. This is the employment structure. The structure of employment denotes the number of workers engaged in different sectors of the economy, though the occupational pattern varies from one country to another one. Look at this part, which can find in developing countries like India, that a large workforce will be engaged in primary sector, while a small proportion in secondary and tertiary sector. Whereas in well-developed countries, the proportion of workforce engaged in agriculture will be very small, and the majority of labor force will be in the industrial and tertiary sectors. Employment has always featured as an important element of a development policy in India. Employment growth has increased at an average rate of 2% during the past 4 decades since 1972-73. Decades, each decade 10 years opening. Okay. Now do you know? That's an important one. In the medieval period, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the Sultan of Delhi, had set up an employment bureau to solve the unemployment problem. What are the types? Second point, we're going to discuss about the types of employment, that is organized and unorganized sectors. What is the difference between the organized and unorganized sectors? Organized sector is one that is incorporated with the appropriate authority or the government and follows the appropriate rules and regulation. Okay, organized sector, they are following the rules and regulation of the government. In India, employees of central and state governments, banks, railways, insurance, industry, and so on can be called as organized sector. This sector works according to certain rules and regulation given in the law. Organized sector has some formal processes and procedures. The employees, to whom we call as employees, the owner, in this sector are provided with the job security and the employees means is a worker. Worker in this sector are provided with a job security and receive the higher wages than those of the unorganized sectors. Organized sector gives good salary, fixed working hours, paid holidays, and provides medical allowance and insurance also. Look at the diagram. This is the share of sectors in employment. Now we are going to discuss about the unorganized sector. Organized sector, they are following the rules and regulations. Now, unorganized sector of the economy characterized by the household manufacturing activity and small scale industry. Jobs here are low paid and often not regular. Mostly they do not have paid leave, no holiday, leave due to the sickness and so on. Employment is not secure. When there is no work, people are asked to leave the job. This sector includes a large number of people who are employed on their own doing the small jobs such as selling on the street, doing repair work and so on. In unorganized sector, the employment terms are not fixed and regular. They do not enjoy any special benefits or job security. These enterprises are not registered with the government, that is unorganized sector. Now we are going to discuss about public sector versus, that is difference between the public sector and the private sector. Economic activities are classified into public and private sector based on who owns assets and is responsible for the delivery of services. Look at that diagram. This sectors divided into two, public sector and private sector. Public sector further divided. It is under local government, central government and nationalized industries. Private sector, it is under unincorporated, that is sole trader partnership. Different is there. Partnership means two members or three joint like that. Sole means single. Incorporated, private limited company, public limited company, both they have the right. And the franchises, they have the right to do. Now look at the difference you are finding in the tabular column. Difference between the public sector and private sector. Public sector is a service motive. Private sector, it's a profit motive. Public sector, second point, government owns the assets. Here, private individual own the assets. Public sector, wages are paid by the government. In private sector, wages are paid by the owner of private enterprises. So, this is the difference you are finding in that. Look at the examples for the public sector and private sector. NLC in public, SAIL SAIL and the BSNL. Private sector, TVS Motors, Ashok Leyland and the Tata Steel. Now the next thing is the employment pattern. As we have learned about previously about the employment structure, that only we are going to talk about the pattern. In recent years, there has been a change in the employment pattern and this has helped the employers to develop the more flexible working patterns among their employees. The trends are, number one is increasing self-employment, B, firms using fewer full-time employees and tending to offer more short-term contracts. There has been a growth in part-time employment. This may be due to the lifestyle of the people. Employment trends in Tamil Nadu. Agriculture, despite a sharp decline in gross domestic product, which continues to be the largest employer in Tamil Nadu. This is because the non-agricultural sectors are yet to generate enough employment to effect a shift of labor force. Most of the employment growth in Tamil Nadu has been contributed by the unorganized and informal sectors. Look at employment in Iruvalpattu. A case study has been taken. What is happening in the employment scenario, which can be understood not only from the national or state level, but also from the study of the village economy. Iruvalpattu is one such village in Viluppuram district in Tamil Nadu. This village has been studied for more than 100 years by many scholars. This village is also called as a Slater village, as Gilbert Slater was the first scholar who working in the University of Madras to go with his students to study this village in 1916. Over the years, many scholars surveyed the occupation of villagers and collected many more details of each person in the village. It was clearly observed that the government brought social security awareness among the people of the village through the primary health care, provision of schools, and maintenance of public distribution system. Though this village underwent many changes, it is still dependent on agriculture as the main occupation. Look at the following table, what is provided. Employment details of households in Iruvalpattu. Occupation, cultivators in 1981 is 42%, in 2008 is 33%, that means it's gone down. Agricultural laborers, 34% in 1981, in 2008 26% alone. Non-agricultural laborers in 1981 is around only 24%, but in 2008 it's totally 41%. So all households gathered 100%.